Hi everyone, Ross Cammarata here from Rcamm Art Gallery, here with Chris Gug. Many of you might know him, all of you should know him. Chris is a world-renowned ocean photographer, and I am pleased to be here today with him to have a little interview.
Hey, the pleasure's mine. I can't wait. This is a great new partnership. I think we're gonna do great things together.
Sure, now you've spent many decades exploring the oceans. You've seen all kinds of creatures. Every time I call you, you don't answer because you're in the ocean. Tell me, I know that you've lived and worked in some of the most remote areas in the world, in some of the deepest oceans in the world, many of which I won't ever go inside.
Oh, come on.
Turks and Caicos, Papua New Guinea and beyond. What drew you to underwater photography at a very young age? I believe you were 15 years old when you started really getting into this. What drew you into it and what keeps you going today?
Well, I think way before I was 15, I knew what I was going to be in my adult life. I was watching David Attenborough videos, I was watching Nova, I was watching these documentaries. Other kids were just getting their first Atari, and I was obsessed with watching David Attenborough go through Indonesia and look at the next, the Bornean rainforest. And I knew I was gonna be like an underwater David Attenborough. He's my hero, he still is today, 99 years old and still going strong. He's amazing, what an inspiration.
Would you like to meet him one day?
I already have.
Oh, you have? That's amazing.
I already have.
That's amazing.
Will he remember me? I don't know, but I sure remember that moment.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He should remember you because you're outstanding in your work. Your work is now being shown here at Rcamm Art Gallery in Lauderdale-By-The-Sea. I am so honored to have the exclusive rights to your work as a retail shop. What excites you most about this partnership that you can tell the audience?
Well, it was a wonderful surprise to me. We were in the process of not retirement by any means, but removing ourselves from the art gallery scene in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. And it was just serendipitous timing that we got an introduction to each other and we started this new partnership. I didn't want to disappear from Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. I love this town. I love everything about it. I love the people, the restaurants, the activity, the vibe. It's a great town. Everybody that's been here agrees. And then we get an opportunity for me where I'm planning the next stage of life, moving out to Indonesia physically to create best shots on the world's richest reefs. I was going to be, in a way, abandoning Lauderdale-by-the-Sea, and that hurt me. And then this partnership comes up to where I'm able to stay in Lauderdale-by-the-Sea. My clients who have been around for decades will continue to be serviced with the best customer service, with the best people, in a location where they can physically come see the product before they make their decision. And then having you guys able to take care of the customer service end in person with that personal touch is going to be amazing. And I look forward to it. I know my clients look forward to seeing the new place too.
Well, I'm very happy, as you can tell, and I know that all of you are going to be extremely happy to see this. Now, I've got a few more questions. You've won numerous awards. I've seen this. Your work has been exhibited around the world. Which recognition or moment, other than David Attenborough, can you pinpoint as saying, wow, this is really, really huge?
I was 15 years old when I first started as a professional underwater photographer, and I did win my first underwater photo competition when I was 15. Film, of course. 2 sharks, one moving up, one moving down right there. I think we called it fins to the left, fins to the right. And that was a moment. It was probably only my 8th or 9th dive of my life when I took that shot. But I had been planning these moments for decades before that. Not decades, I was 15. A decade. I've been planning this moment. And then other awards, probably the most substantial award, there are photo competitions, and then there's Wildlife Photographer of the Year. And to place in Wildlife Photographer of the Year twice now, and I'm not allowed to talk about what's going to happen in a few months. So we'll call it twice. And that is the most important photo competition on the planet. Anyone can compete, of course, but you are competing against people like me who have been doing it for 35 plus years professionally, the Nat Geo photographers, the BBC photographers, etc. So it's the highest standards, the most professionalism, and the times that I've placed in that have just been, they've put me totally over the moon, caught me off guard, surprised. It's an incredible honor to be surrounded by the other photographers who are winners in their categories. Just an amazing experience overall.
Amazing. That's I didn't know that. That's amazing. Now, I don't have this question on here. I just thought of it because I was watching something before I came here, and I saw renowned golfer Scottie Scheffler. May know him, may not. He doesn't go underwater often. Don't think. But he's a wonderful golfer, incredible. He's winning all kinds of tournaments. And he said, what's it all about? Because I worked my whole life to win a golf tournament. I win the golf tournament. It lasts for 2 minutes. The happiness, but so what's it all about? You've gotten so many amazing shots. We're standing and sitting in front of a few of your famous shots. What keeps you going every single day to say, this is really why I'm down here?
Well, I think that's real easy. You don't have to understand why there's love, why there's passion. The reason I do what I do is not to win awards. I think the awards are nice for when a client wants a little bit of legitimacy behind the artist that they're getting. They recognize that they have been awarded by the judges who are deeming it some of the best in the world. But the reason I do it is a non-quantifiable thing. It is love. And you can't quantify love, you can't explain it. It sounds corny, but like those two eyes meet from across the room and there's that connection. And you're not supposed to be able to explain love at first sight or why you have to go approach that person and start a conversation with them and see if they're the next phase of your life. But it is, you can't explain it. Magical attraction. That's what the ocean and its creatures has always meant for me. I see a turtle and I don't want to see a turtle. I sure don't want to ride a turtle. I want to understand a turtle. I want to understand why it's doing what it's doing. Why does it turn left instead of right? What's its reaction? Why is it eating that type of algae instead of that type of algae? Why does it move towards that jellyfish for food and then move towards that plastic bag for food at the same time? How can I take that photo of a turtle eating that plastic bag and turn it into a sneaky little conservation message that allows me to talk to the general public without preaching like a soapbox type preach, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. No, but a photograph can be so much more impactful in an environmental conservation theme than a speech or a preaching act. Nobody wants to be talked to, but if I can sneak in that message a little bit through one of the photos, that also gets to one of the main, most important missions of my life.
Amazing. I know that you have a philanthropic side of you and may feel that we are beyond a little bit, but every little thing can help. I'm noticing that we have companies out there now that are planting corals. They're putting rocks in there with holes and they're graphing corals and putting them in there and trying to build the reef. How many more people need to be doing this?
Well, how many people are on Earth right now? 8.2 billion? I would say about another 8.1999 billion. At least that's the number of people that need to be aware and need to understand how important it is. We have examples of it right here in Lauderdale-By-The-Sea. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure that I agree with the methods that were used in Lauderdale-By-The-Sea and the structure and the reason for it. We don't do it because we've chosen to destroy it, and this is a remediation for the damage that we have voted to do. We should do it because it's the right thing to do, and what protects the reef protects Lauderdale-By-The-Sea, protects us, protects the environment. And if it's all that you care about, yes, it's protecting our investment here in real estate as well, which in environmental conservation, sometimes those two things go hand in hand. I can talk to people about how it's going to help their financial bottom line by working with the environment. Same thing goes with planting sea oats on the beach and renourishing the dune instead of re-adding sand. No, you redo the dunes, you add the plants, you add the sea grapes, you add the oats.
Which we have done a great job, I think, right up and down the coast.
A lot of places have done it.
Lauderdale, yeah.
But a lot of places are still doing things like, it makes it look like a jungle. I want it to look like concrete to sand.
Right.
Okay, well then enjoy the damage that it does in the next hurricane.
Right.
The dunes are there for a reason. They were there before we came here, and they are the number one thing that holds our beach together. Sorry, I'm getting off topic.
No, but listen, 30 years ago, they didn't have it.
Yeah.
Today, they have it.
And we didn't know about it.
Right.
And now we have the science to teach us why this stuff is important and how it's going to affect us in the coming decades.
Awesome, awesome. In closing, what would you tell an inspiring photographer today? I have a young 8-year-old at the house, a 10-year-old, a 17-year-old, any young child who, it's funny that you said this when we walked in, who might not really understand sharks, who might not really understand jellyfish, and they love to take pictures. what would you say to them to inspire them to get in the water and do what you've done for 30 years?
Well, this is a fun thing. With kids, they have a new generation doesn't bring the fears and apprehensions of our generation. You know, we grew up with Jaws. The kids, they look at Jaws nowadays and they think it looks like a sock puppet. You know, there's nothing to be afraid of there. Why were we so irrational in our generation and our parents' generation about getting in the bathtub? You know,
Right.
these were realistic fears of people. You know, I can't go swimming in a pool because I watched Jaws and it changed my whole mentality. That's ridiculous when you say it out loud, right?
Right.
But it's real.
Right.
So the new generation shouldn't have any of those fears. We now get right through CGI, and now we're in the era of AI, everything. So people are becoming more critical of what's real and what's imaginary. And that, to me, I'm very thankful for. So the kids these days have no excuse for the fears unless the parents put it upon them. And I try to talk to the kids and say, don't let your parents' fears limit what you can do in this world. The other thing that I talk to kids about is probably the least understood and the least popular and the most resistant thing they're gonna find to what I have to say. But hey, it's my opinion. You asked my opinion, I'll give it. They have to stop doing everything else.
For someone who's been in the ocean for as long as you have, I would heed your advice for sure.
Hey, it's not even about the ocean to me, it's about what I have done to get to where I am at this point. I stopped doing everything else. I stopped focusing on other things. I stopped paying attention to the rest of the world, stopped paying attention to politics, stopped paying attention to the news, stopped paying attention to other creative endeavors. I limited my other hobbies, and I focused my entire life for the past 30 years on one thing: photographing the ocean. And that sounds crazy, and you're thinking, surely he must have other hobbies. I don't cook. I can't fix your car. I can't do any of these other things. I literally have done one thing with my entire teenage and adult life. One thing only. And I have no intentions of changing that. I am so happy in this world. I'm probably the happiest person we're ever gonna meet.
Amazing.
I've loved it. I've lived it. I won't change. The next phase of my life is just going to be putting me even more in touch with the ocean as I leave some of the logistics of handling clients and talking to the humans with you and your gallery. I look forward to focusing the next stage of my life strictly on talking to fish.
Amazing. I'll have to learn fish language. I've got one more for you.
Hit me.
And then I just want to talk about a couple of the things that we're working on here. 30 years in the ocean, you've been everywhere, you've seen almost everything, except for one thing. Before we get there, you have a very special collection called the Alien Collection. Everyone I show these pictures to say, oh my God, that's real? Because they are electric, they're amazing, and I encourage all of you to go online and check out the Aliens Collection. I think those are the coolest things in the world. There's one alien, I believe it's an alien, but you're probably gonna name this alien that you have yet to find, and I'm not gonna mess up the name, so please share with us what you're looking for, and really, what's the holy grail for you?
All right, so first off, quick, I think the Aliens Collection deserves a little bit of explanation.
Please.
I jump off a boat in the middle of the ocean in the middle of the night. The water beneath me is usually a few thousand feet deep. I'm not at a few thousand feet deep. I'm at regular scuba depths, the top 100, 130 feet of water. I'm hunting for little tiny creatures about a few millimeters to a few centimeters, and I'm looking for these things. I photograph them, I make them look larger than life, but these are very real photographs of typically pre-metamorphosis larval creatures who have risen from the depths at nighttime, and then before the dawn happens, they sink back down to several thousand feet deep.
Amazing.
I have found several new species. I get to work with scientists from across the world who are world-renowned experts in their particular niche field: larval deep-sea fish, invertebrate zoology in a marine environment, worms. There are these people out there, and they're amazing. PhDs worked in their field for 40, 50 years, and yes, I found multiple species which are still unclassified. But there is one species that is classified that I think might just be the most beautiful creature on the planet, and I still can't seem to find it. I've hunted for it relentlessly, thousands of dives drifting through the open ocean in the middle of the night with no coral reef in sight, just blackness in every direction, and I'm looking for one damn fish, the Brachylatania cusk eel. It's a type of cusk eel.
Brachylatania.
Yeah, exactly. Cusk eel.
Cusk eel.
Cusk eels are a big family of fish.
Okay.
There's hundreds of species. Okay. I've seen many types of cusk eels, but the Brachylatania is it's the king. It's the most beautiful thing of all. I lust after it. I think about it at 2 a.m. when I should be sleeping. I'm obsessed, and I will find this fish. It's all I think about while I'm diving. I'm looking for it. I imagine it in my mind as I'm swimming through the blackness. I see it in front of me. It's not real. It's like an oasis to the desert walker. They think they see it in front of them. I get close to it. Just another siphonophore. You know, and this has happened hundreds of times, and I will find it someday, and it will become a reality. It might be next week. I'm planning on going in the water Monday night and Wednesday night of next week. We'll see what happens.
Well, I know you're gonna find it. And when you do, we will have a picture of it.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait. Chris, I'm so excited about this partnership. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Patience, energy, your passion. It's certainly something that I look for every single day in talking about your artwork with everyone out there. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Great to be here.
Thanks.